Okay, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer out there, let everybody know where I stand on it. Yes, I agree. What happened to George Floyd was 100% wrong, should have never happened. There is no reason for a U.S. citizen to be treated that way. Now, with that being said, I want to go to a different route. Everybody keeps talking about unfunding the police. This is the big hot topic that we have going right now, that the police are unfair against specific races. Well, I have a different point of view on this. I believe our issue is a social economical issue, not really a race issue. But that doesn't sell in the media for everybody. They need the divisiveness, they need the tension for media to sell. Our issue that we have is a social economical issue. The areas in where we have the most police interactions is in our poorer areas. Poor does not know race. Poor is something that transcends every single race we have. Everybody wants to talk about these communities, talk about how these communities are bad, not being treated correctly. Well, let's face it. The problem is humans. The problem isn't the police that we have. Yes, we have some bad police, but just saying that all police are bad because of a few bad ones are the same as saying that all white people are bad because of a few racists, or all black people are bad because of a few criminals, or all Hispanic people are bad because of a few illegals. That's a bullshit rhetoric. You can't blanket everybody by the acts of individuals. What we have to look at is their true situations. The situation that is the biggest problem that we have for our people with the police department is in our poorer areas. And the reason why is because crime rates are harder there. They're higher there. You have more issues in your poorer areas because people are doing what they need to do to survive or to provide for their family. Whether they're right choices or wrong choices is completely irrelevant. These are the choices that are being made by these individual humans. So defunding the police will not work. It's not going to make things better in these areas. You could try to switch money from the police department to social programs, whatever there are, to try to help out some of these areas to make a suburban style area like AOC says in her latest tweet, which I don't see how that works either, because you're not redeveloping the houses, you're not redeveloping the properties, you're not redeveloping the streets. You're just basically putting in a few activities for people to be able to do. What we need to do to defund the police is quit being criminals. You want to defund the police? Quit giving them so much damn work to do. Quit making it to where they need so many people. Our biggest problems we have in this nation aren't due to the police actions and reactions to criminals. It's not due to police killing innocent people, which try to find the stats on how many people without a criminal record were actually killed by the police. Now, I'm not saying all criminals need to be killed. We're not going to go down that route. But I'm saying is, our choices put us in bad situations. If you minimize your ability to be in a bad situation, your times of interaction with the police, your chance of being killed by a police officer go way down. In 2019, we only had 75 what was technically unarmed people killed by police officers. 75 in a nation of over 327 million. Now, you do the math on that and tell me if you have a better chance of winning the lottery or being killed by a police officer if you're unarmed. What we need to do to make things better for the police and our people's interaction with the police is go back to things we were taught in previous generations. One, if a police officer comes up to you, comply. Two, don't resist arrest. 3, don't be a criminal and put yourself in a situation to where you have to be arrested. 4, be helpful with the police officer if they need assistance. 5, don't be a dick. If a cop comes up to you and has to talk to you about something, you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what situation they're in at that time. You don't know. But if they come up and they're asking you questions, answer the questions honestly, directly, and clearly. This is how you deal with people in an authority figure. Police officers have to take control of a situation when they show up on a scene. They have to be the ones in authority, because otherwise there's no point in them being there anymore. If we take away the police officer's ability to be the ones, the authoritarian in a situation, we don't have rules and laws anymore. We only have suggestions. We are a nation of laws. Our laws need to be enforced. Sometimes it has to be harshly. The people that are making these laws now have never once been in a physical altercation, I would bet. Because if you try to tell me that you're going to tell a police officer they can't use certain holds to get a criminal down, then they've never had to try to subdue somebody or protect themselves in an escalated situation. You put a 220-pound police officer against a 280-pound criminal with bad intentions and tell him, oh no, you can't use your taser, you can't use your gun, you can't use any type of chokehold, but you've got to be able to put this person down. That is not going to follow the rules. Growing up in a city, you were always told there's no such thing as a fair fight. I'm sorry, but that's reality. And that officer needs to be allowed to be able to win. What we need to do to make things happen for our society is get back to where we were at one time. The criminal is the problem. The criminal is not the victim. Quit making the criminal the victim. Realize that criminal, if they wouldn't have made their decisions, wouldn't be put in that scenario that they're in dealing with that police officer. Yeah, I know it's a harsh way to look at it, holding people accountable for their own actions, but it's what we need to get back to. Yes, that officer was wrong. That officer needs to go to jail for murder. His 3 little buddies that were with him, they need to go to jail as accomplices. We need to get rid of the bad officers. Completely agree. But I will tell you this, we have a hell of a lot more good officers, even great officers, than we have bad officers. Probably at a 100-to-1 ratio. Let's honor the ones that we have. Let's respect the officers that we have. Let's support the officers that we have, because you, as a law-abiding citizen, if you're in a bad spot, you have someone trying to carjack you, you have someone trying to rob you, you're going to want that officer. Even those of you that aren't completely law-abiding citizens, if someone were to put a gun to your head, tell you that you need to go into your house and steal your stuff, you'd still want that officer. The only person that doesn't want an officer, doesn't want the officer to be able to handle and do their job, are the criminals. We have more criminals in Congress right now than we do on the streets, it seems like, per capita. Recently, I did a video on problem profiteers. It explains how whenever there's something bad that happens, you have a group of people that want to get profit off it, either political gain or financially. Right now, we're in that same situation. People are using something that happened to one of our citizens, George Floyd, by a bad police officer, and they are trying to get gain for their own agendas. This is a problem that we have in America, and this is a problem that we have with our social media and our news outlets. Our news outlets are running 24 hours a day, and they need something to say for every minute of it. So they're willing to take anybody's agenda and run with it. We need to look at what our issue actually is. Our issue that we actually have in this country is the criminal, not the police officer. Quit victimizing the criminal. Quit letting the problem profiteers take advantage of your fear. Stand up for what you have to believe in. And remember, that police officer took his job to help protect yours and my community. Yes, once again, we have a few bad ones we need to get rid of. But instead of villainizing all police officers, we should be celebrating the good ones. I'm Kenny Turnage. This is Let's Talk About It. If you like what I have to say, hit like and subscribe. If you don't, leave a comment telling me where you think I'm wrong. I'm completely good with that. Anyways, hopefully you like this video. If not, catch you on the next one.